Now at 6 o'clock, we're tracking a trio of local wildfires, including one just outside Salem that started after a crash took out power lines. We'll have the latest on evacuation orders and the effort to put this fire out coming up in our top story. Plus,
Portland could be at risk of losing millions in federal grants if they don't get rid of the DEI policies under the Trump administration's new executive orders. How this could affect the city.
And we talked about this last hour. We're pretty excited about National Kitten Day. So with that in mind, we headed out to the Oregon Humane Society's Northeast Portland shelter. Yeah, we're checking out some of the kittens and cats available for adoption. And we're also going to share some of your cat photos. All of that coming up right here this hour on KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Thursday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. You know, we know a couple of cool cats by the name of Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill. Look at those guys.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Do you know where that's from?
Greece.
Tiger King. So close.
Very close, yes, very, very close. We have a pretty good day coming up. I'm happy to tell you, by the way, no thunderstorm threat in Oregon today means, in part, no red flag warnings for fire danger. It's a dry forecast. It's a comfortable forecast statewide. Here's our live shot over Salem. This has been overcast since I've been looking at this, 64. Downtown Portland, though, look at that. Partly cloudy now. It's the same over on the west side out toward Washington County, 63 degrees. So there are areas of cloudiness around. So kind of some morning or early cloudiness, but this becomes a mainly sunny day. 63 currently, 71 at noon. We may or may not make it to 80. I've got a 79 at 5 o'clock. Enjoy, because we'll be close to 90 for maybe almost a week starting tomorrow. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert in Washington County. Southwest Farmington Road right now closed because of an ongoing fatal crash investigation. The Washington County Sheriff's Office putting out a release just a few minutes ago. This crash happened around 2:30 this morning. One car, one person involved. They are investigating. And again, the traffic impact is that Farmington Road is closed at this point. From Jacktown Road to Clark Hill Road, your traffic solution to get around that, likely Rosedale or Tile Flat. Indefinitely. I'll certainly keep you posted on that. Back to the Freeway Drive, Interstate 84 zipping right along. That's out near 82nd Avenue. That looks good. Taking you up to Clark County, the I-5 Drive. This is near, well, that's not the I-5 Drive. That's 4 camera views. There's the I-5 Drive down there. That's in pretty good shape, guys. So far, we are at a speed limit clip on the freeways heading into town.
All right, thank you, Chris. We are keeping a close eye on several wildfires across our region this morning. One of them started yesterday in Marion County, burning about 30 acres.
That fire has forced evacuation south of Salem. Our Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from the newsroom. So Thomas, what's the latest here?
Well, guys, the Marion County Sheriff's Office continues to monitor that fire, which burned well into the night, though it now appears to be contained. A small area with just a couple homes are still under evacuation. All other orders have now been lifted. Sheriff's officials say the grass fire near Gath Road off Turner Road in Marion County started just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon after a car crashed into a power pole. The fire grew to around 30 acres, destroying 2 outbuildings, but no homes. A firefighter was hospitalized. Their condition is unclear right now. And while conditions have improved, neighbors are still keeping a close eye on the fire.
I mean, it's kind of scary, but just because I got 3 boys, you know, and the one is just a newborn.
Across the Columbia River, the Skamania County Sheriff's Office is mopping up a fire near Dog Mountain. It burned south of the Dog Mountain trailhead and shut down one lane of State Route 14 last night. Nobody was evacuated. And in southern Oregon, the Elk Fire in Klamath County has grown to about 2,000 acres now. The Oregon State Fire Marshal says the fire is threatening homes in both Lake and Klamath County. Governor Tina Kotek has invoked the Emergency Conflagration Act to mobilize more resources to help fight that fire. China.
Thomas, thank you. And it is that time of year when Multnomah County and firefighters start cracking down on homeowners who let their yards grow out of control to prevent the risk for spreading wildfires. So code enforcers say they don't necessarily drive around looking for out of control fields and yards, but they do follow up on complaints made by concerned neighbors. Multnomah County doesn't have a set maximum height for grass in rural areas, but most cities do. The limit generally is about 8 inches tall. Firefighters say it's not just grasses that are a concern here. They also are urging homeowners to trim trees, keep bark away from homes, and clear out gutters.
What we would like to do is just be proactive, encourage folks that have fields like this to just cut it down on their own, avoid neighbor conflict.
Yeah, but if you are concerned about a neighbor's property, you can contact your local code enforcement office to make a complaint. And you can find continuing coverage of all the major wildfires going on in our area anytime on our KGW app or kgw.com.
The Gresham Fire Department says 2 fires that happened Tuesday morning were intentionally set, and it's likely that they were set by the same person or people. One was at the East Portland Moose Lodge on Northeast Halsey Street. The other started a few hours later right across the street at Columbia View Church. That fire destroyed one of the church's back rooms, a room that was filled with toys and tools. Here's Gresham Fire's battalion chief talking about the potential connection between these 2 fires.
We believe they are both so similar, with broken windows, 2 on each building, fire set through the window from the exterior. So that's why we're tying those 2 together.
Both the church and Moose Lodge are open, by the way. Gresham Fire is asking anyone with information to give them a call.
Portland firefighters are heading to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for the memorial services of 2 firefighters who were killed while on duty. Early last week, we reported Battalion Chiefs John Morrison and Frank Harwood were responding to a brush fire when the man accused of starting it shot and killed them. Authorities say he later died by suicide. The local team will have a fire engine in the procession, as well as pipes, drum band, and an honor guard.
We're family. Events like this affect us. We grieve, we feel it personally. We want to extend our ability to create closure for the members in the organizations that personally lost their brother in this particular incident. We grieve for the families that lost their loved ones.
The memorials are scheduled for today and Friday. A 3rd firefighter who was injured in the attack is still recovering.
A judge sentenced former Trailblazers player Ben McLemore to more than 8 years in prison for raping a woman at a teammate's house party. During the trial, the woman testified that she was incapacitated and unable to consent to sex after a night of heavy drinking. She spoke again during yesterday's sentencing, but we agreed to not show her face.
Rape is not a word to be taken lightly. It's not something that should ever be used as a joke or a casual accusation. I fully understand the gravity of the word and the damage that it causes and the lives that it destroys. No amount of money could ever undo the damage he caused, and it wasn't compensation I was seeking, it was justice.
McLemore is also required to register as a sex offender.
We are learning more about a SWAT standoff Tuesday night that locked down a Milwaukee neighborhood. Deputies say 35-year-old Ryan Pittman pointed a gun at people inside a home on Southeast Monroe Street around 9, fired several rounds, then ordered everyone to leave. That prompted a shelter-in-place order. Crisis negotiators got Pittman to surrender just after 11 p.m. He's now in jail on gun and probation violation charges. Luckily, no one was injured.
Cute!
All right, before we get back to Rod, we do have cute.
Kitty.
Did you know today is National Kitten Day? And that is why we are live this morning at the Oregon Humane Society's Northeast Portland shelter. You know the names of these 3 kitties there?
I'm trying to read. 329D. Oh, sorry. Scout, Ren, and Puppy.
Yeah.
That's cute.
They stuck it on a piece of paper here in front of our eyes. All we had to do was read it, China.
Yeah, sorry.
We also wanted to showcase some of your feline friends this morning. So we have Energizer Bunny and Fabergé.
Like a Fabergé egg.
Yeah, viewer Barbara sent us that photo right there. This is a photo of Energizer Bunny watching Rod do the weather. Wait, do we have that again? I got to see that picture again. Oh,
That must have been 30 years ago.
oh
Look at
my
him.
gosh, look at that. Rodney.
Is that on the coast?
What do
It looks
yeah,
like a
Director
toupee.
Brian is in my ear saying that's not Rod. The heck it isn't. It is Rod Hill. It just looks a little different because how long ago do you think that was, Rod?
Well, that's our Pacific City camera, which we have not had, I think, for at least a couple of years. We used to have a live camera there, and we don't anymore. So it's at least 2-3 years ago, I would say.
Viewer Barbara, we appreciate you sending us those photos, and especially that one of Rod from a few years ago. Looking dapper, though, of course, as always.
It's the same suit, I think, actually, that I'm wearing today. Suit budget a little lean. 79 degrees in our forecast today. Enjoy this. We are really starting to highlight the fact that we're watching heat coming in next week. So we've already got illuminated in red on our 7-day or highlighted a KGW weather impact alert for what looks to be growing confidence of the hottest temperatures we have seen so far this year. We've not been past 96. Right now we've got 98 Tuesday of next week, 101 of Wednesday of next week. The models have been showing this for a while. There's some question as to whether we're going to hit 100. There's some question as to whether Wednesday will be hotter than Tuesday. But there's at least going to be a couple of days hot enough that we want to let you know that you'll probably want to plan your days accordingly. All the data right now shows that following Thursday, what would be day 8, does drop back down into the 80s or at least closer to 90 degrees. Okay, so we're watching that for next week. Today, it's really a good news story. No fire weather alerts today. That's terrific news. Everybody will be dry minus some mist with fog banks at the coast this morning, and temperatures statewide will be comfortable today as well. Here is a dense fog advisory up until 11 o'clock along the beaches from the National Weather Service, Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. That's really socked in, probably some misty weather to be found. Otherwise, inland, we have some cloudy areas, but a lot of sunny spots, including out in the gorge. There's Mount Hood, nicely illuminated this morning from Indian Creek Golf Course. That's out in Hood River. You folks in the gorge will generally see west breezes today, 10 to 20 miles per hour, some higher gusts, but not overly windy by your standards. 61 out in Sandy, these are current numbers. Again, we have some cloudy areas, otherwise partly cloudy spots. 63 in Sherwood this morning. Albany 63, Salem is at 64. Here's that comfortable afternoon I mentioned. No 90s, 87 Pendleton, 82 Baker City, 85 Madras, low 80s in Salem. Portland might stop shy of 80, and developing sun is expected along the beaches this afternoon. So Portland goes 79. I've lowered tomorrow to 88. I had it at 90, but close to 90. Certainly a big warm up, 88, 88, and then there's that hot weather starting with 92 degrees on Sunday, and that is your update.